Hey, hey, hey. Time for another out-of-this-world story from our space. Being cheated on by my first wife completely changed my mindset. My first wife cheated after only 10 days of marriage. I found out from a neighbor. I was away at sea. She had a girls' night out and hooked up with a guy. When I returned home, she acted all loving to me. The neighbor invited me round to have a beer one night and told me that a guy had been a regular visitor while I was away. I was devastated, but not because she had cheated, but because I found out from someone else, and when I challenged her about it, she denied it. When I went to sea again, she did exactly the same thing. I was playing dutiful husband and called her from the USA, where my ship was berthed. I could hear someone in the background, and she told me it was her cousin, who was also in the Navy. When I got home, I challenged her again, and she again denied it. It was only when I told her that she had no cousins in the Navy that she broke down and confessed everything. The last straw was when I went away again, not long after our daughter was born. She cheated again, and again, she denied everything. I decided to get sneaky. I told her I was going on a course for 2 days. I left the house and booked into a hotel for 2 nights. During the evening, I'd go to the road the house is on, and we sat waiting to see what happened. No more than 5 minutes after we arrived, our car pulled up and a guy got out. She let him in and obviously went straight upstairs as the bedroom light went on. We gave them half an hour or so, then I quietly let myself into the house and made my way upstairs while my buddy waited by the front door. The bedroom door was open, so I stormed straight in. There she was with another man between her legs. Her look of shock was brilliant. Instead of kicking the guy out, I just told him thanks and said he was welcome to her and then left the house. She did eventually marry the guy, but then cheated on him with his dad. So how did it change my mindset? I've always been a modern thinker. I've also never been a person who could cheat and lie about it. I got rid of my first wife because she lied. She hid her cheating from me. Even when there was proof of her cheating, she lied to my face. The thing is, if she had told me she wanted sex with other men, I would not have had a problem. We could have had an open relationship, which in later years, I had with a wonderful woman. We were swingers. We explored our sexuality together and with others, but we never hid anything. Even when she couldn't get a hold of me to tell me she wanted to have sex with a young guy who had been hitting on her, she went and had sex with him. Then as soon as she got home, she told me about it. My first wife could have had the same type of relationship, but she was a compulsive liar. I look at the world, and there are far more opportunities to have a successful alternative lifestyle, yet people can't open up to each other about wanting to act on the fantasies. Jealousy is a huge problem in that sense. Communication in a relationship is key. All relationships will go to the point where sex is a mundane thing with the same person. However, as my last relationship showed, being open and honest and sharing experiences can result in a relationship that is fun and long-lasting and full of trust. Our first reaction comes from ZCMI 1960. What the hell didn't you dump her in the first time? The OP responds, I asked myself that many times. I decided to give her 3 strikes, which was stupid because there was a woman who made it clear she wanted to be with me. Looking back, I should have kicked her to the curb, but to this day, I don't know why I didn't. Our next comment comes from Player No More. Same crap happened to me. I was in the Air Force. My neighbor called me while I was deployed. My wife and best friend didn't know I worked with my neighbor. The difference is, I know I was getting rid of her for 3 months. I came home, had that after deployment sex. While she was at work, I packed her crap and called my friend's girlfriend, who called my wife and friend. Wife had to move in with her parents after I told them. I never spoke to my friend again. He lived with his girlfriend, so he lived in the dorm for a while. I put in for a transfer from Vegas to New Mexico, so I was gone in little more than a month. I am too self-centered to give anyone a second chance. You visit my life for my pleasure. The moment you stop making positive contributions, you got to go. Moving on. My wife's affair caused me to lose trust. I am the 39 male, my partner is 37 female. I'm a previous victim of infidelity in 2012 in my first marriage that ended when my ex-wife became pregnant with another man's child. I met my current wife in July of 2014. During the first part of our relationship, she told me she had a sexual affair with a married man who was 48 years old and was her boss's boss at work in late 2012. He would plan cross-country trips for him and her together for work and booked hotel rooms throughout our home city for their affair. The 48-year-old's wife never found out. I asked my significant other if this man was out of her life. She said yes, and we moved on with our relationship and got engaged in July of 2015. In September of 2015, I found her texting with someone I didn't recognize. It turns out it was this affair partner. I started to dig deeper. It turns out she saw this man as a sort of mentor, given his senior status in the organization. She had even planned several get-togethers over the previous year with him for talking and guidance. For one of these get-togethers in July of 2015, she told me she was having dinner with work friends. It turns out she was meeting him at a bar for a conversation about a new job she was pursuing. I read their emails planning the get-together, and they were flirtatious about what she would be wearing and had lots of smiley faces. Then I looked at her wedding invitation list. We just got engaged 2 months prior, and both the affair partner and his wife were listed as invitees to our wedding. She swears that at these various get-togethers during our relationship, they just talked about work and there was no sexual contact. She was scared to tell me about meeting him because she felt like I wouldn't understand. After I found out about the continued contact in meetings, I asked her to immediately stop all contact. She did comply and sent him an email explaining that they could never talk again and blocked him on LinkedIn. As best I can tell, she has stopped all contact since 9/15. I spent lots of time in therapy. I'm unsure if her affair was sexual during my time with her, but to me, it might as well have been. I had a hard time believing her telling me that there was no sex involved with these get-togethers. Fast forward to 7 years, and I still have anxiety about the relationship. I had to take an SSRI to cope. Every now and then, I start to spiral and lash out at her about why she would lie to me about her time with his man. She still swears nothing sexual happened during our time together. My questions. Should I reach out to the affair partner's wife? She still has no idea about this affair. It doesn't seem fair to her. I wouldn't want to know if it was me. Also, in a way, I want the affair partner to feel some of the pain he has caused. How can I move on with my relationship and get past the thoughts of my wife with this man? My wife has been faithful to me since our wedding as far as I know, but I have trouble with trust after her lies about this man. I would love to clear my mind of the sexual images of him and her, and would love tips of how to get these images to disappear. Our first reaction comes from Mysterious Maxim 488. I call BS on the purpose of their meetings. If it were truly mentor or new job crap, then why not be honest about the purpose and invite you along? Oh, because then they couldn't screw. Our next comment comes from Chillstains. Yeah, what the F? Who gets a male mentor when that you used to sleep with, and then tell your husband it's just to talk? Like, I'm sorry to be really mean, but this man is just being straight up lied to and humiliated. She is meaning him because she is sexually attracted to him. I can almost guarantee it's not for his wisdom only. The next comment comes from T-Unit 713. Why do they have to meet at a bar to talk about job prospects instead of talking on the phone? You were 100% right, so they could screw. The OP responds, you are probably right. But she swears deeply and tearfully that there was absolutely no sexual contact. I wish I could go back in time to find out the truth, but what she says will always have the doubt. Mysterious Maximum 488 comes in again. Here's the part that makes all her excuses BS. She told you about her affair with the affair partner before. She knew that if she met with him, after telling you she wanted no contact, that you would think she was cheating. What did she do? She met with him without telling you. She did the one thing that would cause you to doubt her and lose trust in her, on purpose. Next comment comes from Sailor Jacket. Cheaters do cry tears when they swear they didn't have sex. They are scared they will face the consequences of their actions. It doesn't mean they are being honest. Director 20530 says, your wife invited a former lover to your wedding without disclosing the nature of their relationship. She met the same lover for talking and guidance multiple times without disclosing who she was meeting. She lied to you in July 2015 about another meeting with the same man. I'm sorry, this doesn't pass the smell test. Your wife is a liar and she cannot be trusted. You may choose to stay with her, but deep down in your heart, you know she's a cheater too. Our next comment comes from Bull Moose 702. My wife has been faithful to me since our wedding as far as I know, but I have trouble with trust after her lies about this man. You can't reconcile these two statements. Classic manipulation to blame you for her reason for lying. Tough spot for you, but I would tell his wife. You're going to find out real quick if your wife supports you or telling this secret. The OP adds in, she told me during our engagement that if I told the affair bar's wife, she would call off the wedding, so I bet she would still be pretty pissed at me if I told her. I'm wondering if I could tell her anonymously. Next comment from Zurich Time. You should have called her that time and you would have never been in therapy and medicated for years because of her. Dude, that F, she really cares for him than you. Why did you continue the wedding? You should call it off. Next comment from Admirable Peace 9668. Yes, the other betrayed spouse always has the right to know. Just versa rules. What would you want? The OP chimes in. I would absolutely want to know. I wish others had told me during my first marriage. But she swears the sexual affair only occurred prior to her meeting me in 2012. She says I have no business in reaching out to her wife because the sexual affair did not occur during my relationship with my wife. It drives me crazy that the affair partner is living his life scot-free with no consequences. And he claimed to be a family man role model in the community on his LinkedIn page. Then another comment from ASC 1226. She's putting him before you in your marriage. All of her yammering about her having no obligation to their marriage just reveals that she's okay with infidelity. You want the truth? Have her write down a timeline of these meetings, then verify them with a polygraph. Our last comment comes from Harry Landscape 9975. I don't know how you will survive this, but I assure you, you will survive this, and it will be hard, but you will. Maybe the first post I read on this sub as a silent lurker that made me feel the betrayal and nausea too real to make me cry. I really hope and pray for your fast recovery. Protect yourself. It's been enough now. I hope future is kind to you.